Unless I was close to it.
Yeah, and it's
Stand by. We're just Ramon is having difficulty.
yeah, and his mom she was a boss at UC Merced for a while. But I think now she's at Stanford. I think she's at Stanford now. In the budget finance world, she was like the shared service, the person who's over shared services. She was like that at UC Merced. Yeah, he's in my mentor mentee group, which has been fun. You should do it. Should be a mentor.
He did mention that, yeah.
It's been really fun. Yeah. More rewarding than what I thought.
So right now, this is what we started.
That's so cool. How long did it take to get up there?
5.5 hours. It was not long enough. We were enjoying it so much. We're so it's over.
That's really cool.
It was amazing. Yeah, I had a chance to take that.
It's really fun.
Yeah, we're taking
They give you like
Good to go?
we bought food and we wish we had comments.
Okay, we'll call this meeting for the Robla School District Board of Education. September 25th, 2025 to order. Please stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. Okay, let the record show that all board members are present and accounted for, with the exception of Trustee Duluth and Trustee Cardona, who will join us very soon. Next is the adoption of the agenda. Is there a motion to adopt the agenda?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? The agenda has been adopted. Moving on to public comment. This is a time when members of the public may address the Board of Trustees regarding any agenda item during board consideration of that time. Please note that if you wish to address the Board of Trustees on any agenda item, you should do so when the specific time is called or by the board president. Let's see. To submit a comment in person, please complete a public comment card. You can also provide your feedback online via Assembly Gamut and the live chat feature on YouTube. Comments submitted online will be read by the board assistant, and all remarks are limited to a duration of 2 minutes. Is there anyone who would like to address the board on any non-agenda item? No? Okay. Moving on to reports. Robla Education Foundation.
They're still taking longer to get there and I'm going to make my report. I just hope everybody will follow my example and listen to the report.
Thank you. Robla Teachers Association. Classified School Employees Association. Superintendent Tim.
Good evening. I have a little bit more to share. First, I'd like to share that last week I was fortunate to participate in the AXA Women in School Leadership Forum. Never participated in that conference before. I was on the planning committee, asked to be on the planning committee, and I was also a closing panel member, and it was a great, empowering experience that I actually will look into expanding our participation. This month we have several Latin Heritage Month activities. We have 3 more school lunchtime concerts. The next one will be at Robla on October 3rd, followed by Taylor on October 7th, and Bell on October 10th. Next Thursday is our parent empowerment dinner, so that's Thursday, October 2nd, and Dr. Art Pimentel, the president of Folsom Lake College, will be our guest speaker, so we hope to see you all there. Tuesday, September 30th, Taylor Street is hosting a Robla Community Plan listening session with council members Roger Dickinson and Lisa Kaplan. So that will be on Tuesday, September 30th at Taylor Street from 6 to 7:30. So please, if you would like to have any input regarding ideas for Robla, please attend. They'll be there to receive all your feedback. Attendance challenge. I was looking to see if I have any parents. I do not. That attendance challenge is happening now. So if anyone who's listening, please make sure to have your students attend school in the next couple weeks. I'm sure you all receive messages from the principals. We are continuing our Parent Square push this September, so anyone who's having challenges setting up your Parent Square account and the preferred preferences on whatever device, please reach out to us. We're also doing a push with the Educational Benefits Fund. We are calling those families who on file we don't have a record. I thank the families for their patience, and I recognize that they may believe that they completed it during the back-to-school night, but due to a technical difficulty, some of the forms were not submitted, so that's why calls are being made. And then finally, is Mr. Castillo in here? Okay. I'd like to say thank you, good luck, and see you soon to Mr. Castillo. Today is his official last day. So thank you for your dedicated service to the Robla community over the past 6 years. Your passion for supporting students, staff, and family has been evident and deeply appreciated. Good luck. We wish you the best in your new endeavor. I can't see him. Okay. But I won't say goodbye. I won't say goodbye. I will say see you soon. Thank you. That's the end of my report.
I second that last statement. Yes, thank you. I definitely second that. Moving on to board member reports, Trustee Devine,
Nothing at this time.
Trustee Starks.
Nothing at this time.
Okay, and I have a brief report. I was able to attend the California Latino School Board Association Unity Conference last week, or the week before last. It was a wonderful conference. They always focus on the positive. I'm not ready to give my full presentation or share it yet because I still have to download some of the presentations and provide some of the slides. I wasn't able to do that during the conference, but it was an awesome meeting. Mostly positive. Of course, they discussed, the elephant in the room and what's going on currently around the country, and they gave some tips about that as well. So I will definitely discuss, put that in my summary. I do have some really good news about CLSBA, and that is they are changing their name and expanding. And at first when they said they were changing their name, I was kind of worried, but they're changing from the California Latino School Board Association to CALLE, C-A-L-L-E, and I don't remember fully what that stands for, but the expansion is that they are moving from serving K-12 to first serving K-14, and then eventually K-16. So their immediate steps, which they will do in 2026, is to expand to the community college system. So that's why they are changing their name. So I look forward to working with them in a different capacity. That's all I have. We will move on to presentations. And our first presentation is the CASP presentation. Take it away.
Good evening, everyone. Just so everybody knows, my voice is going in and out this week, so I've had about 4 lozenges this afternoon to try to make it through, and I hear that Ramon is the cause of this. So, good evening, everyone, board members, Superintendent Chen, and community members. Today we'll provide some CASP information from 24-25 school year. And John, this is going to take a little while. Sorry. We will start off with presentation objectives, glossary of terms, student score reports, 2025 district schools comparisons, district and schools 3-year comparisons by subject, by grade level and cohorts, and by student groups. Taking a look at our glossary of terms for CASP, ELA, EL, students with disabilities and socioeconomically disadvantaged. Here's an example of a new student score report that families receive these days. There are much more robust in information for the families, and now there's a new QR code to scan for more information on the state website. So let's take a look at the schools comparison. We can see that Bell has the highest scores in most areas. So congratulations to Bell Avenue, followed by Robla School and Taylor Street School. We hope to bring some equity and consistency with their achievement across our district with the principal's action plans and the instructional model coming this year. This year in the instructional model, we are working on direct instruction and engagement strategies, which has the potential to impact all content areas. We will also have discussions with Mrs. Hall at Bell to see what type of action she thinks had some impact on student successes at Bell Avenue. Looking at a 3-year comparison for Robla District, as you can see, the highlight is that we went up 2% in ELA. We stayed the same at 21% in math and down 3% in science. In math, principals will be doing math walkthroughs to find trends and patterns in the instruction. They will then debrief at cabinet with what they see and how can we support them with PLSDs and professional learning. As for science, the plan was to hire 2 STEAM teachers to support the upper grades, but unfortunately, there were no qualified candidates. It is still posted on our website because we're not giving up on that. In the meantime, we will have further discussions with leadership and PLSCs to see what we can do to support in this content area as well. Within our district grade levels, we can see a 3-year comparison here. A noticing our trend is that when we see in ELA, children tend to continue growth as they go up the grade levels. It shows the teaching strength of the upper grade teachers in ELA. In math, it is very close in 3rd grade, 4th grade, and 6th, and takes a dip in 5th grade over the years. A couple of things we know is that we had a number of combination classes in 5th grade in the past years, and there was also an influx of new teachers in 5th over the years, which of course would impact student learning.
Can you talk a little bit about that impact and what we're doing to address that?
Well, when you have an influx of new teachers, they're going to need a little bit more support. So we try to get the PLCs involved to support not just our 5th grade teachers that need it, but other district teachers too. When they're within their 1st or 2nd year, we give them a lot more time to support in their instruction and classroom management, just about everything in teaching really. Looking at the grade level cohorts, we see our current 6th graders did better in ELA as they went up the grades, and in math they tended to decrease. For the now 7th graders in ELA, we see the same, where students increased as they went up the grades, and in math, an increase as well.
Can you go back one slide? Okay, so this one right here, we're going. If you're looking at the 3-year history, we're going from red to blue to gray, right?
Yeah. So you're looking at year 23, 24, and then 25.
Okay. So are we looking at? So if we're looking at 4th, 5th, and 6th grade, so we're going from 19 to 17 to 22%. Is that?
If you're looking at ELA, what are you looking at?
I'm looking at math. Sorry.
Okay, if you're looking at math, then in 3rd we were at 21%. We went up to 25%, down to 16%, and back up to 22%.
one more time.
Yeah. Yeah, say that one more time.
In the area of math,
You had that little pointer thingy. Not working. It's okay.
you want me to go up there?
It's okay.
So let's just stick on the gray.
Okay.
So sticking on the gray in third grade, they're at 21%. In fourth grade, they're at 25%.
But that's not the same fourth grade class.
Exactly. These aren't cohorts.
Mm-hmm.
The next ones that we were showing you are the cohorts.
Okay.
This one is different. They're not apples to apples.
Okay.
This slide is showing how the grade level is performing, comparison over the years. The next slide, as Mr. Penman mentioned, discuss the same students.
Okay.
So these here are the same kids over time.
Okay.
So I'll go over what I said here as well. Looking at the grade level cohorts here, we see that our current sixth graders in ELA on the left side, they went up the grades in math, they tended to decrease. So as those students went up from third, fourth, and fifth, those are the same kids in 25%, 27%, and 29%. Those are the same kids. In math, they went from 19% down to 17% and 16% in grades 3, 4, and 5. Looking on the other side, those are now seventh graders, they're in middle school, but that means that we have fourth grade, fifth grade, and sixth grade up there. So in ELA, it went from 28% up to 32%, up to 34% as they went up to upper grades. And in the area of math, they were at 15%, 22%, and 22% in fourth, fifth, and sixth. And those are the same exact kids. Looking at our Robla district student groups, a bright is that our black students went up 20% in 2 years, as now one of the highest in ELA, and an increase in Asian students, students with disabilities, and students who are socioeconomically disadvantaged. Noticing for that our white students continue to decrease, and that our EL students are staying a little bit steady. We need to delve into the data further in these areas to see what is happening, which we will do.
Do you have a general idea of what's going on?
We haven't delved into the data that way, so I'd have to speculate. We did have a discussion yesterday about some of the white students could be Russian students that came into our population of white students and kind of increased that number. They're having maybe a little bit more difficulty, but this is when we're doing the macro view, we'd have to do the micro view.
Mm-hmm.
We have to go to each school site, look at our white students, our black students, and that's what we do when we do the micro look at our sites, and that's where those action plans come about when we're working with this kind of data. For us up here, I'd have to speculate too much.
Mhm.
We can have discussions on it, and we will have discussions on it when we're doing the micro look at each site and see what the patterns are, because we do that at cabinet.
Okay, and forgive me for interrupting so much, because I don't want to take. I mean, there are some improvements, and I really like that. But that's also pretty noticeable right there. So with the white students.
You're looking at.
Well, African American students, very good improvement. I like that. I like anything that improves. I'm happy about that. But looking at white students and decreasing, I mean, that's pretty noticeable. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad that you're
We talked
thinking about.
yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to take away from some the good stuff that's up there, but that is very noticeable.
But we have to pay attention to all student groups.
Mm-hmm.
And just to add, as Mr. Penman said, part of our discussion yesterday is we do have an increase of our Russian population that would fall under that student group, as well as the program ELs, right? And so while we might see flatlining in ELs, we have to recognize that that student group and that program, the demographics would change, and that's where we will look more deeply.
Yeah, I'm just really curious about that. Yeah, I mean, now that you mentioned that, yeah, I am curious just in that and the EL being flat.
Taking a look at our math and student groups, our highlights are that once again our black students have gone up and every other student group stayed fairly steady. In the area of science, highlights are that Black students, Asian students, and socioeconomically disadvantaged students went up. Some noticings are that white, EL, and students with disabilities continue to trend down. But once again, we will have to dig deeper to see what is happening there as well. So here are some things that we are doing in the district to try to increase student achievement this year. I'm super excited about working with the instructional model, which is focused on Tier 1 instruction, which is the first good teaching, using research-based strategies in instruction in the K-2 setting. Tier 2 would be the intervention specialist, and Tier 3 would be special ed. As I stated in a previous board meeting, the reason we brought in the instruction model was to have a common language about what good instruction is across the district, and we have a large number of new teachers now that need more support than ever. And of course, our veteran teachers would benefit from this as well. We would like to better engage our students with delivery of instruction and engagement in ways that help students comprehend and understand content more thoroughly. It was exciting to have Dr. McGee over here in August. We have her back in November to do more strategies with us in the areas of engagement and direct instruction, because we know we have some difficulties engaging our students. We did some goal setting with all teachers across the district and are having them try some of these research-based strategies after that PL day. We will have them share out their site PLCs on how it went and how it benefited their students. We also have principals share out at cabinets about what they see in the classrooms in their walkthroughs. And lastly, we will have peer observations once again to allow teachers to learn from one another and debrief and discuss lessons they see from one another and talk about their student outcomes or the difficulties they have faced. Other things we are focused on in the district is data collaboration at sites and cabinet, looking at those different levels we speak of at the district office at the macro and the sites at the micro. Foundational skills work in the lower grades. We're talking about the selection of future math materials in the spring with SCOE and the pilot. We have been PLSCs a little bit more involved in the implementation of these initiatives. The PLSCs have not really been a part of cabinet. This is the first year that I've introduced that strategy into this format, because I believe that when they're in the conversations with our leadership, there's a bigger connecting to what the support are needed at the school sites, and so we'll have better conversations when they're there at cabinet with us. We have PBIS training, which is supporting schools in the behavior issues. I'm sorry I didn't put inclusion, but Sam Drayson is training and supporting all the sites with inclusion, and EL students where Mrs. Lyon is working with teachers to increase student writing. Now we will take a brief look at how Robla schools did overall in ELA, math, and science for the past 3 years. Looking at Bell Avenue, we see an increase in ELA by 1%, a 1% decrease in math, and the same in science. They had the same percentage of 31%, but still overall the highest in the district, so congratulations to Bell. Looking at the cohorts in both areas for 6th and now 7th graders, we see at Bell a trend upwards through the grades in both ELA and in math. Here's a look of student groups in ELA. The highlights are that Black students went up 32% and students with disabilities went up 18%, as well as 3 other student groups going up as well. So great job with the student groups over at Bell Avenue. In the area of math, Black students went up 10% and students with disabilities went up 11%, and other groups stayed pretty steady. So as we go, I will show you the actions principals spoke to you about in May and June for their goals for the 25-26 school year. That was part of their SIPSAs. And of course, as the new data comes out, some things may need to be slightly modified because there'll be new discussions about this data as well. At Glenwood School.
Before you, I'm sorry, because I know that I'm going to probably have comments or questions later on. I just want to acknowledge that, that Bill has done, that this is a noticeable, this is good, this is a noticeable improvement, so good job. I just want to make sure I say that.
There are some
Here.
notable things this year which we're very proud of and we're very excited about. We definitely know we need more work.
Yeah.
But we're gonna take some wins here today.
Yeah, there are some areas for improvement, but I want to acknowledge that, you know,
Well, thank you.
and I don't want to wait until the end to do that.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
I do have a thought though. I'm wondering if there's an opportunity to put, instead of percentages, like sometimes numbers next to some of these, to help broaden the stroke of the picture.
Want me to go back a slide? I'm not sure what you mean.
So instead of it saying like 47%, is that 5 students? Is that 100 students? Like what makes up the 47%? I'm looking at the 3-year comparison for all students.
Gotcha.
Or for the yeah, I mean it doesn't for the by ethnicity and student group,
Ready to go back?
or forward, or yeah, back, yeah,
Tell me when.
one more. Yeah, so
No.
that one, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think these numbers are really great, but it would be interesting to know like how many students how many people that accounts for. So is it 5 students?
Yeah.
And that's 5 students is still really great, but
Yeah.
or is it
There
100
is a
students?
difference there,
Yeah.
for sure. We actually talked about that yesterday, so you both are picking our brains from yesterday.
Okay, good.
No, we discussed that exact thought, and we talked about, well, maybe we should have some numbers somewhere down there.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll do that.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Great suggestion. At Glenwood School, there was a decrease in all content areas. Looking at current 6th graders and 7th graders, in ELA, the trend was that it went down and up, and in math, it went up and then down. Looking at the student groups in ELA at Glenwood, most groups stayed close to the same level or a small decrease. In the area of math, scores tended to decrease with most student groups. Here are Glenwood sections.
Before you go on, can you tell us a little bit about what we're seeing, why we're seeing,
Sorry?
why we're seeing the decrease? Can you talk a little bit about that?
That'd probably be a better question for the site principal. I mean, I can't speculate for the sites and what they do over there. So it'd be hard for me to kind of give a serious, I mean, it'd be an assumption. I mean, I'll say one thing, that the students that are in the DLI program are getting instruction 90-10 in kindergarten, 1st and 2nd grade. So most of that is in Spanish, obviously, it's 90-10, and then they take the test in English. Now, that is for sure something that has to be considered and looked at. But as we think about a dual immersion program, we want our students proficient in English and Spanish.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
at the same time, we have to be thoughtful about that. We're trying to do both languages and get proficiency. But that's one aspect that we were talking about. Me and Cindy, the director Cindy Lyon, we're talking about maybe doing the Spanish test this school year for Glenwood School. We've never done that in our district before, but that was one strategy we thought of that maybe would give a different picture of Glenwood School with the Spanish test. So we were going to talk to Dr. Gray about that.
Okay, well, I get that. I guess I'm just curious about what was good in 2023 that changed so drastically.
to move on to Main Avenue School. At Main Avenue School, there was a decrease of 4% in ELA, an increase of 4% in math, and a decrease in 7% in science. Looking at cohorts, the ELA was sixth graders. They went up in third grade and fourth grade and took a dip in fifth. And in math, a trend downwards through the grades. That's one on the left side. The one on the right side are the seventh graders. In ALA, they trended down and started low in fourth and fifth in math and went up in sixth. Looking at Main Avenue student groups, you can see overall, black students are the only group that went up 5%, and the rest trended downward. In math, student groups, black, white, Asian, and socioeconomically disadvantaged students went up.
I'm sorry, I should have asked this question like a long time ago. But I see that the percentages are the percentage of the students. But what does that mean? Like, does that mean that we're proficient?
Let's look at black students. If we're looking at that 7%, which is gray, that means they had 7% of the students were proficient.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And here are the actions for Main Avenue.
And can I ask a question? Would it be possible next year when we do this again, for maybe teachers or something, so we can see how many, so I know the numbers mean proficient, but there could be students who are like 1% below being considered proficient, and those students are almost there, just so that way maybe we can have an idea of how the classrooms are doing. Because looking at these numbers can be very disheartening sometimes, especially with seeing them go down. But if we were to know that but 80% of the rest of the students were only like one question away from hitting this mark. If something like that would be possible, just so that way we know maybe how much more effort or work needs to go into it. Because when we look at this, it can almost feel like none of the other students are even close to me. Does that make sense?
Yeah, we actually had a pie chart last year of the 4, 3, 2, and 1, and you kind of saw that. I think I neglected to put that in here, but we did do that last year for you.
Yes, okay, because I was remembering there was something like that.
It shows you where the students were.
Right.
And how many were on that cusp.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, but it's like, just so that way we know, because it's like, it's amazing that we have, say 17% of students who are proficient, but how many of that classroom are almost there, like one question there, or they just need like an extra month or something of working at it. Like they're almost there, but we can't count them in this. So I think that would help the board a lot with knowing how we are doing.
I think one of the things we could consider next year or later on this year is having a data workshop. When Ms. Lyon completes the LCAP, we are intentional of putting percentages as well as points, right? Because points below standard, because we want to acknowledge that we might have made growth, but not enough to change the band. So I know when she reports those, and we do that with intentionality. But if we want to dig deeper, we absolutely can consider a board workshop where we can go down and look at the number of students, because we know that in a student group, one student can make a difference of positive or negative, right? And to dig deep in that, we absolutely can explore that, or add how we can present the data in this presentation.
I would like something like that.
Yeah.
And I was gonna say another thing that's like coming to mind too when I'm looking at like these interventions, and it says like evidence-based interventions. But what evidence do we have that these interventions are going to be helpful for our students in our schools? So, I mean, there's a lot of research out there about a lot of things, but how do we know that these particular strategies are going to be helpful to move the numbers?
Yeah, and I think a workshop would be great because I see the numbers and I have so many questions because it sometimes it just it doesn't make a lot of sense to see the huge decreases in things, and having the numbers and maybe even the pie charts and things like that would help make more sense of what I'm looking at, as opposed to just these bars that are very noticeable.
Yeah, I mean, you're speaking about breaking down the data. I mean, that's what we need to do further. If we're looking at a school site, it's going to look very different at Bell than it is at Main Avenue or somewhere else. So we'd have to dig down at the student level. We have the capacity to do that. Take some time and energy, but it's possible. We can talk about doing that at a workshop like Superintendent Chen said.
Mr. President, a question. I was late. Sorry, I was late. For me, what it bothered me a little bit is some of the bar graphs that you have over here. They are basic and 50%, some they are 30%, or 40%, and I assume this is the high level that we want to mark because we didn't reach that we 50. We wasn't 29 or 39. We didn't reach the top of the cap. That's correct? Or do we miss in the other 70%? Since we have 30 basic and 30%, where is the other 100%? Where is the 100%
It
making?
is 30% proficiency, 70% we're not proficient.
That's correct.
Correct.
That's correct. Okay, so that's just what I was just confused me. Say when 50, when 30, when 40, we are because the line, the bar that we trying to reach is not us.
We're just constantly trying to go up in that percentage of proficiency.
Correct. Okay, but like I said, when I see like 9% or 4%, that means only 4% are 100% students.
Right.
Correct? Oh, yeah, that's.
Just for clarity, if you're looking at student groups, right? It's 4% of that student group.
Yeah.
Right. So
I am. Yeah, I just concerned, and like I said, we see 30%, so we see 29 or see 24. We was there, but if we basically see it in 100%.
Yeah, that's why they were also talking about wanting to know the number of students in
Correct.
each little student group.
Yeah, because percentage-wise, it's hard to
Sure.
pinpoint where we are.
Yeah.
Really.
I mean, it could be 3 students.
Correct. Yes. Correct.
Moving on to Robla School. At Robla School, there are some more congratulations on a 6% increase in ELA, a 1% increase in math, and science went down 1%. Robla 6th graders in ELA, they trended up and then down, and in math, they trended upwards. For the now 7th graders on the right side, they trended up in both ELA and math through the grades. Looking at student groups, the highlights are that black students are the highest in ELA with a growth of 15%, an increase of 15% by white students, an increase of 10% by Asian students, and an increase of 11% with socioeconomically disadvantaged students. There were strides within their student groups over at Robla as well. In math, black, white, Asian, and socioeconomically disadvantaged students increased. Here are Robla's actions for this school year. And lastly,
Before you go, I just want to acknowledge that there has been a lot of improvement here at Robla.
I'm sorry, say that.
There has been a lot of improvement here. Well, I just want to acknowledge that because I ask a lot of questions and make a lot of comments, and some of them, they seem kind of negative. But when I acknowledge that, I'm positive as well.
So great job, Ms. Benjamin and your team. Thank you. We appreciate that, Board Member Barnes. And lastly, more to celebrate at Taylor. There was an increase of 7% in ELA, a 1% increase in math, and a nice 4% increase in science. Looking at sixth grader cohorts, they have trended up in ELA. In math, they stayed steady. For the now seventh, they trended up in ELA, and in math, they stayed pretty steady. Looking at student groups in ELA, more congratulations on Black students increasing 21% at Taylor, an increase of 9% with Hispanic students, an increase of 6% with EL students, an increase of 7% with socioeconomically disadvantaged. Good work with students at Taylor Street School. And in math, student groups, highlights are an increase in Black students of 5%, increase of Asian students by 8%, and a small increase with Hispanic and students socioeconomically disadvantaged. And here are their actions. And Mr. Kapp, sorry about that. Those accolades were for your team.
Oh.
So my apologies. Now we're moving on to Benjamin. Sorry, Mr. Kapp. I know this was a lot of information to take in today. We shared a lot of actions and strategies. We're all communicating and working hard together to create interventions and strategies, which will hopefully benefit our students even further this school year. We definitely had more highlights this school year with some positivity, which we really needed in the trenches here. The school sites and ourselves as leadership are nowhere near pleased with where we are, but we are all committed. We are all embedded in this work. We have me here 19 years. We have leadership here that have been here for decades. We care about this community. We don't like where we are, but we're going to continue to fight because we care about it so much. So I don't want us to just get always stuck on the scores, because I know these people out there love on these kids, love on the community, and bring so much more to the table than just scores. And so I don't want that lost in all of this work too, because they do these exceptional things at their sites every day, and they fight for our community and these kids. But I'll take a win on this. Some of this is just good news for us, and we are just aligning more and more with what we need to do around here, and that excites me a lot. So thanks for your positive comments today. I mean,
Thank you, and congrats to Taylor on their improvement as well. And you know, as you said, there are definitely areas of improvement, but I want to acknowledge, I want to congratulate people where they have made their progress. So thank you for that. Any questions, comments?
For the principals who are here, like for Robla, what of your new actions, like for all the principals who are here, do you think really showed like the best that helped our students that you implemented?
when they answer, they should probably be up here for the
Just really quick, if you guys don't mind. Has that something that should be shared amongst principals and teachers and everything?
So I think, like you said, this is a great overview that Mr. Pim is showing, but it is in the diving down. And what we found at Robla last year is that we had almost 25% of the students that took the test last year that didn't provide enough writing output to actually even be scored. So you got to think that's part of science, that's part of ELA, and then it's also comprehension in math. So we are super excited. Our teachers are super excited. We are doing, in fact, on our slide is step up to writing. So they're writing throughout the day. So I think, and that writing is like critically thinking. And I think that's, we appreciate the board's support and Mr. Pimmon's support. That's kind of what we're super excited about. It's happening every day at Robla. And so our teachers went through professional training before the school year. And it starts K through 6. And if you imagine a kinder student that's getting role model on how to write a paragraph, and they're learning a color code to do a topic sentence, and it's not soaking in. But then in first grade, they get the same language, starts all over again. So that's what Robla's super excited about. Step up to writing.
I would like to hear from it looks like there's 3 principals, right? So where's the other one? Oh.
Good evening. In addition to what Mr. Caff was saying about just the overall, I think, importance around the art exhibits, but I also believe at Taylor's attendance piece, because if the students are there, that's kind of where the learning happens. So I want to commend the parents and the staff over at Taylor for really putting that emphasis. I think those attendance contests help. In addition, I think to the focus around academics with the teachers talking about data, and we go numbers. So I think that is also very important, and just really keeping that positive spin on the learning for our students and the families, just connecting them.
Taylor won a bunch of the attendance things
We
last year.
absolutely did.
Okay.
And that's kids, I mean, the parents are the ones that are, the little, so they have to get here. So if we have them there, then we can do the work with them there. So we want to continue that as well.
Hi, I'm Lisa in the back. So I wouldn't say there's any one thing, any one magic bullet to solve this problem, but I think at Bell Avenue, something that teachers are really intentional about and very thoughtful about is student engagement. And I've been blessed to have a really solid staff of teachers at Bell. I don't have a lot of turnover there. I've had one new 6th grade teacher, one new 5th grade teacher, in the last, now another new 5th grade teacher. So in the last 3 years, I've had 3 new teachers. I have not had to deal with combo classes, and I think that's hugely, I think when you're looking at numbers, you should consider combo classes, because that's very hard to teach combo classes. And they typically, they're in the upper grades at times, and that can make it really challenging. I've not dealt with that, combos. So I have one this year, and I haven't had a lot of teacher turnover. So I think that really is something to think about. But at Bell, when I'm looking at Bell Avenue, I think student engagement is our #1 strength. And we use that through, we're a GLAD school. So GLAD kind of is woven through most subjects. Math is more of a standalone subject. And then with our math schedules, everybody teaches math in the morning and everybody teaches math for at least an hour. So there's a few things that we do that are really intentional, but I think that you can't really put one, say it's this or that. I think the dynamic at every school, principals are dealing with different things at different schools that affect test scores. 1 or 2 kids, you have to remember when you're looking at those scores, 1 or 2 kids make a big difference in a single classroom. So.
Yeah.
We've had more challenges. So she talks about having more of a stable staff. Over the past 4 years at Maine, we've just had 6 intern teachers. We've had 7 maternity leaves. Last year we had 3 maternity leaves, and those were in the grades where we test. So that has had some real huge impact on us. And when it comes to teachers and their experience, 15 of our teachers over the past 4 years have had 0 to 3 years of experience. So we're dealing with things in a very different way at Main Avenue, because while we can't delve deeply into things as we want to, when you have a more established staff, we have to focus more on the foundational pieces of teaching and looking at lesson planning and looking into curriculum and cluster management. So those are some of the struggles we've had. We've also had combo classes in the upper grades for 3 years.
I actually wanted the positive.
Yeah, but I'm going to give you positive.
Okay.
So I'm just laying some ground. But one of the big things that we've struggled with is also a chronic absenteeism. And so for the start of this year, our goal is 95% every day. And so we've been hovering around 95% on many of our days. So if we don't have kids at school, they can't learn. So that has been a big aha for us when we've been looking at the numbers every day this year. Ms. Janowitz and I, we had some dances in the morning when we were like, hey, we were 97% today. So we're seeing some nice increases there. Okay.
Thank you.
I have a.
Go ahead.
I was gonna just recommend that maybe for this, maybe not this one, but for the next attendance challenge, maybe we do 2 schools. One school that's the winner, and the other school that's had the most improvement, to kind of get folks excited about showing up.
I like that.
Wait, don't go. Yeah, because I have questions. Because you mentioned some concerns. How do we address those?
Well,
And the reason I ask is because we saw the data and we saw the 5th grade information and we saw things like that, and they all somewhere have to be tied together. And you're bringing up some really big issues, and we always ask what do you need from us and everything like that. So I'm asking how do we resolve these issues when they come up? I mean what you just mentioned that sounds pretty big.
Well, I don't have a combo class this year, so that helps immensely because we've always pulled in our intervention specialists to help support that, because to try to teach everything in a combo class is incredibly challenging for a teacher. So that's been a big win, not having a combo class. We are using and abusing our PLSTs this year. One in the morning I might see Miss Clark, and then she's back again at 1 o'clock to work with another grade level. So they are a part of our weekly PLCs. They are part of our phonological awareness and word work that we're doing with SCOE. They sat in on the first day of training that we had this year, and then we're doing follow-up observations. They're modeling lessons, they're observing teachers, and then they're debriefing with the grade levels. So that's been in full swing the past couple of weeks since our first training. So that's been very beneficial. We have had a lot of high need behavior challenges over the past years, and our team at Main Avenue is a strong MTSS and PBIS team. That's why we're platinum. And so we really stick to working with our students who have some real struggles to support them and to support our staff. So we have a strong team working through that as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I just want to say, thank you, Mr. Penman, and all the principals for the presentation. The CASP is a report that we have to give, right? And that's how the state measures us. But I also want to emphasize that is a moment in time of a student's year and learning. And so if we do explore having a data workshop, I think it's important to look at all the other data pieces that we use to determine how we can support our students, because some of those might show how the evidence-based strategies that we have been implemented will how they have impacted our students. But we have to do this. It's a requirement, and this is how the state is measuring us. But I do want to acknowledge that, we have to use multiple data pieces, and that's what we do. We just don't report them. So that would be something to explore in a workshop.
I think that would be interesting in a workshop, because it will allow us to discuss other things such as the shifts in personnel and how they impact people, and just have a broader and fuller discussion, not just the snapshot. And so, yeah, I welcome a study session.
The more data we have, the more we can help our students and our staff.
Help us understand.
Yes.
Because, yeah.
I just want to say something, but I don't want to be in a negative, positive person here. My major is they call it numbers, counting. Every time I see percentage, for me are things. But I did see the improvement that we have in school. I appreciate that. I've been here for 11 years, And we have a strong, strong community. We have strong, smart, and great staff, administrators, and people behind. They are great what they do. And for me, like I said, it's we need to reflect. We need to reflect what we have. And as a school board, we give you guys whatever tools you need to make the school better, the students better. So we need to know where we are falling and what we need or what we need to add or subtract to make it more efficient. Because I always said, for years I've been saying, for me a percentage is, so nobody leave behind. We're talking about 50%. Where is the other 50? Where is the other 40%? And for me that is a hurt right there. Because we can't leave the kid behind. Because we are failing in that is to these kids. I did see the improvement. I am 100% believe in our staff and believe in our principals and what we have. We just have to. I do like the action that we take in student engagement. I think that is the key. We need to engage the kids. If we don't engage the kids, doesn't matter if they show up or not at school. They're not gonna get it. They don't have the heart to get it. They don't have the emotion to get it. So we need to engage the kids and parents to help us to move to the next level. But I do appreciate our teachers, our administrators, and for the job they do. And I know they love the community. I know they love the kids. We all love them. But like I said, we always room improvement. We just have to figure out where we can apply that. But thank you very much to everybody.
Yeah, and one last thing. I'm glad you said that, Trustee Cardona, because we all want A's, to see all A's, where A's and B's are. So, and we're looking at data that shows us how many A's or the percentage of A's, but that's not the full picture. So it's easy to get lost in that and not see the hard work and everything that everyone puts into this. But it also shows us how complex these issues are, and when we see the scores that we see, we ask these questions, and so we need to understand all the complexity in not getting the A's and B's. So I get that, and I'm glad that you stated that, because we do have very dedicated people here. So are we about to say something? Okay. Any other questions, comments, concerns? Okay, moving on to our next report, the
Actually, I do have one question. Okay, so I have to figure out how to phrase this. So students with IEPs are not expected to reach as high scores, correct? So are they counted in the percentage as reaching the score that would be considered proficient according to their IEP? Or is it graded along just as a flat out standard for every student?
Our students with disabilities are a student group,
So are they?
and they are compared to everybody else. The standards, the level that indicates what meets standard or not, is the same. So we do recognize that their IEP goals are based on our individual, right? But when they are reported, they're reported on whatever standards are the threshold of what meets standards and what doesn't.
So are all students with IEPs considered students with disabilities?
Yes, that's the student group. So when you look at the percentage of SWD, those are students with disabilities. That is correct.
Is there an average amount of students that have IEPs that we can know, is the average 25% of students in each school currently have IEPs?
That is something that we could dig deeper in a workshop.
Okay,
Absolutely.
because we can't expect certain students to reach certain goals when they have IEPs for a reason.
And absolutely. And I'm not sure who said that, we have to be mindful that there are students that are categorized on ethnicity and then student groups. So it's very, very, very common for for a student to be in, I'm going to say white with students with disabilities. Or we mention white because of our increase in Russian population that will also be in ELs.
So could some of the issues with student populations going down because students were given IEPs? Has there been an increase in IEPs given to students?
And can I assume also that just because a student has an IEP doesn't mean that they won't be proficient in reading and writing?
Oh, no, I agree.
And math.
Oh, so firstly, that's easier. No. I will not say that a student with IEP cannot be proficient or cannot meet standards. That I will not say because I do believe that they can. Can you repeat your question?
Has there been an
Increase.
increase in students receiving IEPs, and could that be? Changing for certain groups and declining?
I can't confirm. I would say that I believe our population for students with disabilities might have increased 1%. I do know that Robla is higher than the state average. I believe, Ms. Horowitz not here. I believe the state average is currently at 12%, and I believe Robla is hovering about 16%, 16, 17%. But we can confirm that. We can confirm if we have an increase in percentage of students who qualify under students with disabilities. Absolutely.
Okay, and can we include that in the data workshop that we may possibly have, just those numbers?
Absolutely, because we will also include other factors like attendance and possibly behavior, because those are all factors that would ultimately impact a student's performance.
Great, thank you.
Any other questions, comments? Okay, moving on to 2024-25 unaudited actual reports, and Mr. Castillo for his last report.
Good evening, President Barnes, Board. Okay, I got distracted, sorry. Superintendent Chin and everybody who's here present. Okay, bye-bye. And good evening, everybody who's here present and everybody who's watching online. Tonight we're presenting the 2004-2025 analytical actuals and keeping in mind our vision statement. The package in your report is 124 pages. Today we provide an overview, a summary, and this is the items that we will discuss. The education code, it requires that we complete analytical actuals by September 15 of each year, and is submitted to the Sacramento County Office of Education. We complete that on September 12, 2025. And other forms, I know they are not user-friendly, but those are the actual forms from the state, and the same forms that we are required to be completed by every school district in California. The key items, our average daily attendance, the majority of funding comes from our average daily attendance. We finished the year with the funding in 1,814 average daily attendance. That's an average of the last 3 years because we are in declining enrollment. On a key item, we have one of our big extended learning opportunity programs. We hit it actually in the previous presentations. We started with beginning balance with about $7.7 million. We received revenues of 3.7. We spent 9.6. We end the balance with $1.7 million. That is our extended learning opportunity program. We had to spend those funds because we had it from previous years, so we work on that during this year, so we don't have to return it back to the state. Another key item is the education protection account. This is part of the proposition that passed many years back, and we can only spend that in certificated. Everything has been spent on teachers. we receive $6.2 million, and we spend everything on salaries and benefits for teachers. Now is we're going to talk into more detail on the general fund. In your package, the report is in the unrestricted, restricted, and total combined. For the purpose of presentation, we are presented as unrestricted and combined. Our total unrestricted revenue was $30.7 million, of which the majority is 27.7 due to an average daily attendance. And in this purpose, we call it a local control funding formula. We also have in the other restricted significant like the $7 million that is like a special ed, expanded learning opportunity programs, the lottery that is on that road. So as a total, $40.1 million. 40, yeah. So this is the same information they presented just on a pie chart. The local control funding formula. 90% of our revenue is related from average daily attendance. We would hit in important, so it's not just, it's really important that we have students attend school because that's how they learn, but it's also how we get our revenue. If a student is absent, even if they are excused absent and are sick, we do not get any revenue. Our local funds there, the majority of that is from our interest. Now it's as a combined, we combine at a total state is still 87%. So we depend greatly on our school district. We depend greatly on the state as with our school district, which is the revenue. Our local revenue is actually greater than the total federal revenue. So again, this is the same data that was in here. Sorry, I'm going to go back. Sorry. So it's our same revenue as was presented on this slide, just on the pie chart. Now we're going to talk about the other side of the puzzle, what I call the expenditures, and as well we are presenting it as unrestricted and combined for this purpose. We are a people business. The majority of the expenditures are in salaries and benefits. At unrestricted, we spend $22.1 million and combined $45.8 million. So again, on graph, this is easier to understand and read. In percentage numbers, 85% out of our unrestricted general expenditures is in salaries and benefits. Certificated salaries is just want to talk a little bit about that. Is anybody who has a teaching credential, so it's not just teachers, but includes principals, other administrators who have a teaching credential. Classifies anybody else who I call it support staff to help on the teaching, and the benefits is all the includes all the statutory benefits, not just health benefits. With helpers being over 19% of that. Now I want to spend a little bit more time than usual on this combined general fund expenditure. If you see the previous year's presentations, our total salaries and benefits are in the high 70s, like 78, 79. This year are 63% combined because this year, kind of pointed out about the capital outlay usually is about 5%. This year we spent significant amount and we upgraded all our transition administration preschool was out of the general fund because we received funding for the classroom but not for the admin portion. We upgrade 4 playgrounds, three fields, a lot of the roofs. So we did a lot of facilities upgrades this year. So this will be like an up year. So the part of the pie took a bigger off than the normal, making the salaries and benefits lower as combined. So I'm saying this because we don't expect that to be this in this year. So So within the general fund, there are some programs where what we call contributions or encroachments, where the revenue that we receive is not enough to cover that. And the biggest one, Kathleen, is special ed education, where we have to maintain maintenance of effort. What that means is we have to spend minimum the same amount of expenditures as a total and per student for the special ed. Another one is a restricted maintenance account. The state requires that we spend at least 3% of our general fund to protect our assets, our buildings. So that is how, that's what is the 1.2 million. So those are the two biggest items in there. And then this is a page where I will spend the most time. So summary about 25 pages in your report. You will look into the total general fund. You will think, oh, the difference is in a deficit spending, $6 million. The general fund went from 37 to $31 million. So that will be correct, but we have to break it down between unrestricted and restricted as a total. On that restricted portion, where that's where it counts how we graded, you will notice that fund balance actually increased $2.1 million from 23.2 to 25.4. So that's good. And then the restricted portion, because restricted funds, we receive it usually like a one-time. This is planned expenditure, so it's not a structural deficit. So we receive those funds like in prior years. For instance, I was discussing the Expanded Learning Opportunity Program. They talked about that beginning. So we receive the funds in prior years. We just happen that we spend it on this year, and that's why the fund balance went down. Actually, it's a good thing because if we have to spend it, we have restriction, and that restriction is you have to give it back to the state because you did not use it, you did not spend it by the certain dates. And this is the only report that I'm hearing from you like 4 times in the year where I talk about cash. I think it's still cash is still king. And I want to say you notice that cash and counted treasurer as June 30 was $33.4 million. And you notice it's actually greater than our fund balance. And that is because we have liabilities, expenditures that were recorded as of June 30 that we have not paid. But what this also means is our fund balance is very liquid. The majority is cash. That is a good thing. So we have enough to tune down the economy, the state as has happened where they don't pay us the family value. The district has significant cash. And as a total, being very transparent of fund balance or restricted fund balance is 55% of fund balance unrestricted. Within a report, there is other funds, like child development, cafeteria. And I just want to talk about these two. In many school districts, those programs, those funds, the cafeteria and the child development, encroach in the general fund, where the general fund contributes to these programs can be run. All of these programs are self-reliant. There's no transfer from the general fund to any of these programs. So it's really good that we are operating in a positive fund balance. I spent some time today with Mr. Martin and kind of explained to him where we are in these funds and in our general fund and how some of these programs are. So as a total, we finished, we started with $52 million, we ended with 44. Those deficits, as explained, they were planned because they would have to use one-time funds. So what is looking forward? Our auditors, so our books are closed. Really, the next step is our auditors need to certify what I presented to you. They keep it like that, there are changes and other findings. They're going to be here next week. Actually, they are not going to be here. Everything is online, that we submitting the documents online, so they're going to be here. We'll be doing the official review on next week. I also want to say, to the work of the team, that I want to thank our bargaining partner, we are settled for our close last year and also this year. So we are not changing due to negotiations last year. We are done. Our audit report will be due December 15. It used to be like during COVID, they moved it to February, but now it's back to December 15. And our first interim report, Mr. Martin will present it to you, where that time is all the carryover and everything balance will be updated. And also our other post-employment benefits is fully funded, so we actually have an asset on our other post-employment benefits. Before I close tonight, I want to take a moment to say how grateful I am. This is my sixth and final another introductions, and you have let me do my job. I have presented to you, and I'm proud to say that Robla School District is in a strong financial position. It is teamwork. To our workers, thank you for your trust and always putting our students first. Just tonight, all the questions that you were asking, say our students are first. To our Superintendent Chen, I deeply appreciate your support. I consider you my friend. The current partners, the last year I have learned so much from each of you and to our staff. It's hard to roll it down because I know it will get. I appreciate the dedication and hard work, and because I was thinking there was no one day where I say I don't know when I come to work. I enjoy to come to work every single day. So this is not having just a lot of numbers. It's having about 7 students at school and community. So we'd like to thank you.
Thank you. I just want to say I'm the newbie on the board, and I've been meeting lots of different board members from across the city and in different spaces, and they talk about the challenges that they have with money and funding and not having enough money to do the things that they do. And my response is, oh, you don't have a Mr. Castillo. And so I thank you for making this easy for me, and I appreciate your transparency. I appreciate your hard work that you've done. I seen you crunching those numbers and making sure that we're able to continue to do this work. And so as the newbie on the board, I just want to let you know that I appreciate you and I thank you and appreciate you very much.
I want to say thank you for all of your hard work. You made it really easy when I joined the board 5 years ago for me to understand all of this. You made it very easy and you laid it all out. And I wish you luck in your future endeavors, and you will be greatly missed here at Robla.
Yeah, Mr. Castillo, I've been on the board for 14 years now. The budget is by far the hardest thing. It makes or breaks districts. And even just this week, I heard, I won't mention the name, but I heard, the bad news, around the area. And you've heard a lot of people here say that you made it easy, and you really did. And it's not just how good of a job you did, but explaining it to us, but also how you washed out for us, and the amount of effort you put into watching out for us and making sure that we were always making good decisions. That's just invaluable.
Well, it's a mutual. Thank you.
Mr. Castillo, I was here for day one when you was here, and I really appreciate what you bring to our table. You bring transparency, hard work, responsibility, and a friendship, because that is important too. You care for all our coworkers, staff, and for the children. And every time when I see you after long days, numbers, and see you in activities and passing plates and helping to the staff and helping, and it's great. It's great to see that you have that big heart. And we're going to miss you. We're going to miss you too. And we wish you well. Wish you well. And stop by.
The students from Taylor playing a soccer ball.
Oh, that's great. I love that.
Thank you. So that's very, very cool.
sweet. I love that.
That's awesome.
Thank you. Congratulations to you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Wish you well.
Okay. Oops. Excuse me. Next, we have our expanded learning update from Sacramento Start. And that's with Ms. Joanne Marson.
Leading board members, thank you for allowing us the opportunity to share what Sacramento Star does each and every day for the Robla youth. I also want to acknowledge the great passion of our staff that they bring day in and day out in supporting the families, the schools, and their students. So thank you for that. Thank you for allowing us to share that with you. So if you look at this is just one example of hundreds of stories that our parents shared in regards to when we ask them. We do year-end surveys and, as part of our program quality assessment. So this was just a story, some feelings from one of our START parents at one of our sites. So you could see that the program has made an impact. And this is just one example of hundreds of impacts that our program has made to our Sacramento Star students. Tonight we'll throw up a lot of stats for you in regards to how the program is performing, but I wanted us to remember that behind all these numbers are families and students. Below you'll see our mission and vision statement there. That is the foundation of everything we do, day in and day out. So as you look at that, you can see that Sacramento Star is not just about education. We're about building people, building students, building staff, building families. And that is such a strong belief in the program that we present to your youth. So on this slide, this is the overview of our program. Sacramento Start offers a multitude of enrichment opportunities for our kids. For the 24-25 school year, they had opportunities through iCook, which is cooking, learning about nutrition and how it fuels our bodies. Alivo, which is really looking at the mind, body, and soul of our students. Sacramento Start is very focused on the whole child. We also had partners at Nextplore, which supported in getting our youth moving. We acknowledge that sometimes our kids do not meet the full number of minutes that they need to get moving and grooving every week. So our program is very intentional about making sure that they are getting up, they are getting moving, and they're exercising both their body and their brain. So really when we look at that, all our enrichment and all our components, our enrichment, our recreation, and our academics are really, we've been intentional about building them on the four pillars that the district asked us to focus on, which is food literacy, bully prevention, science, and cultural responsiveness, SEL, and wellness. So as we sit down with our staff for the 24-25 school year and moving forward, those are very much on the front burners and how we build our program to support the Robla youth. Start at a glance. These are your numbers. So for the 24-25 school year, you can see that we supported 621 students through ACES and 288 students through ELOP. That's 909 students that are supported through expanded learning. And what we found through our data is that 43% of those participants in that subject pool have attended our program for 3 years or more. So, and you can see the comment from another parent down below. Our parents appreciate the program. They appreciate that it's a safe place for their children to to learn and have fun, and they would recommend the program, Expanded Learning Program, for after school to their friends and family. When we be intentional about our impact, you know, what we're doing day in and day out, and what our family is, what our families are walking away with. They're walking away with more than just an expanded learning opportunity for their kids. They walk away with family engagement. We see that with our backpack event that we do before school starts. We see that with our lights on celebrations that we do. So we're very intentional about getting families engaged in their children's learning, because what we found, if we can get the whole family engaged, it's easier to engage those students. Our families walk away and our children with really being intentional about looking at social emotional learning, and you can see that through the comment below there. What we are finding is that our START students are walking away with better self-esteem, feeling better about themselves, and feeling better about the differences, that it's not so scary to be different. And so we're seeing that come out not only on the playground every day as they play in their groups, but we're seeing that in the data as well. And of course, we are also seeing a safe and supporting learning environment. And that is very intentional, because you cannot have a good program without it being safe. So that is the impacts. What you'll see here, let me see, there's some bullets here. I'm going to get those up so you can take a look at those. What you can see what some of our families are saying, right? So they're acknowledging the reach and participation of the amount of students that our program is supporting. They're appreciating the academic success that they're seeing in our students, whether that's increase in homework, increase in grades, or just wanting to come to school. Just a little earlier this afternoon, that came up in a meeting that a child is struggling, but they want to come to START. You know, so in order for them to come to START, they have to come to school. And that reflects back on what we said earlier today. We need to figure out how to get them here. So if our program can help support that, that's wonderful. And then you can see the amount of family and community trust that we're seeing. And we saw that over the summer. We are very intentional about building families and offering them support where they need it, when they need it. Like I said, we have parent centrals at the sites where we share community information for our parents to really get. We have a wonderful relationship with the food bank, and we're always very intentional about getting food delivered, shelf-stable food delivered to the parents so they can pick up a box while they're celebrating Lights On or back to school or whatever it may be. But we're seeing a lot of what I would call soft impact, along with the increase in grades. A lot of support for the families and youth. So that is.
Can you hold on a second? Everything's good? Okay, sorry. We just need to make sure that people at home, watching us at home, can hear us and everything.
Okay.
Just want to make sure that all the issues are taken care of. Okay.
So just to kind of close it out, we want to make sure that our impact, we're intentional about building impact, not just with school books, but where it's important for us to make an impact through relationships, being able to reflect on our students, what it means to be a student, and this is where resilience begins. So that's the school year impact. We then wanted to share some of your summer numbers. So summer, as you can see this year, was held at Glenwood. We had a total of 647 students enrolled with an average daily attendance of 154 students. We were very, once again, intentional about making sure that the program was safe, was engaging, because we wanted the kids to be there, right, just to combat the summer learning loss that we see every single summer.
and making sure that kids are ready to come back to school in August, that they're excited to come back. So what you'll see down below in those check marks is some survey results that are coming out of, once again, our program quality assessment, but those are coming from not just families, but also students. So students reported that they appreciated feeling safe during the summer and having a place to go and to be engaged and not just at home doing whatever they might want to do at home. So we were happy about that.
I have a question for Superintendent Chen. Is that normal for there to be like an average of only like less than 1/3 of the students actually come to the program?
Yeah, it's like 1/4 or so, yeah.
There was 2 sessions of summer, so that 647 total students enrolled. That covered the total number of students for 2 sessions.
So is it like
So
split in
then
half?
I feel like half.
Yeah.
I do have, it does reflect generally, historically, what we are getting. It's about half of them. And I do have the last 3 years' worth of attendance numbers, if we want to look at, but that is historically what we're getting.
I think what we need, maybe you can send the information to me, is I think that the first 3 weeks are the first 3 weeks is when our teachers provide the academic piece of summer school, and then those students have the opportunity to attend start in the afternoon. And then the following 3 weeks, right, 3 weeks, is if they were just attending start for the whole 9 hours. It might be helpful to let the board know the breakdown of how many were enrolled at the time when we provided the academic center, and then the 3 weeks when it was all enrichment. Okay.
It was the same exact question.
And if I don't have that data on me, I'll make sure that Superintendent Chen gets it and she can report it out to you, because that data is readily available.
I'm like, I'm not too good at math, but
Yeah.
something wasn't math, so. Yeah.
So there's, we broke it out once again. We looked at the impact. The impacts are very similar during summer than as to what we saw during the 24-25 school year. But we did throw out here, because I thought it might be interesting to see the grade distribution of the students that are coming to the summer program. And it would also be interesting to look at that data compared to the first session where we did partner with the school district and compare that and see if there's any changes between the first portion of one where you're partnered with the district and then did the 9-hour days. But that right there for the entire summer is the distribution of grades for students.
Joanne, just to provide some clarity right now, a student can participate in the first 3 weeks, and that same student can participate in the last 3 weeks. They would be counted twice?
Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
So what we found as a program, and we alluded to it a little earlier, that the summer is a critical time for our students because of summer learning loss. And we wanted to be very intentional about making sure that we were making a huge impact for our youth, but still making it fun, so we could support them in their learning, being in a safe space, and being ready and confident to come back to school for the following school year. These are just a few of the survey comments that we received from families. And like I said, when we looked at the story in the very beginning, the truth behind these numbers is that there are so many more positive comments from our families, and our families appreciate the opportunity to have their children in a safe place during the summer where they can feel like they belong. They're safe, of course, but they're still learning and making at least supporting and combating that summer learning loss. Okay, so like I said, we are intentional about our program quality,
These are some of the comments that came out of our summer programming. So you can see that the families are very appreciative of the district making the program available for their kids during summer. But these are summer comments that we're talking about now. Any questions?
Thank you, and thank you for the explanations, because, the math wasn't mathing, and so, we're looking at, like, trying to get our numbers up to, like, 95, 96%, and I'm like, that's like 25% or so.
I could share with you specifically about the summer numbers. So for, like I said, I have 3 years worth of data here. So for 2023, we were at 2 sites. At Bell, there was 123 students enrolled, and at Glenwood, 125 students enrolled. The average daily attendance for those 2 sites averaged anywhere from 67 for Bell for the month of July up to 87 for the month of June at Bell. 2024 was very similar. We were at Main Avenue that particular year. For the month of June, we had 180 average daily attendance. For the month of July, we had 147 daily attendance with 254 students enrolled. So you can see that historically the number that are enrolling are not quite all coming. And the same for 2025, and we looked at those numbers.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Okay. And our last report is spending learning update from Robla's Family Development Center with Blake Cudworth.
Good evening to the board, Superintendent Chen, and community members. I do want to say at the outset of our report that a lot of the data that is collected on our programs does go through the Children's Defense Fund and Innovation Bridge, one of their partners, and a lot of that data was not presently available to us in the time of tabulating this presentation. If you do have questions about any of the numbers, I can do my best to kind of give a snapshot into that information. But most of it will not be in these slides that we do have today. It'll be more of, just general information on kind of the structures and procedures that we did follow for the presentation and for the programs that we ran. So this will serve to discuss the 2024-2025 after school program year, as well as the 2025 summer freedom schools. The 2 programs are, I would say, connected. This is the outdated version of these slides. I don't know if we have.
We're looking for the one that has fall slides.
Yes. While we do have some, dead airspace here, I do want to give Ms. Marinelli, our new coordinator for the Robla programs for this school year, a chance to share a couple of the highlights from this school year. We do have a structural change to our programs compared to what you'll hear in this report, as I am no longer working directly with Robla's district, and she is taking over, as well as just the way that the program is going to structure this year. So, do you want to speak a little bit about that?
Hi, I just wanted to pop in and say hi again. I got a chance to come to the last board meeting, and I was very excited to be joining your Robla team then. But that was prior to meeting our families and our kiddos, and I would just like to say that I'm even more excited now that I've met our families and our kiddos, as well as our RCC team. I am very excited about our attendance so far. We've been hitting 100% attendance, And when we're not hitting that 100% attendance, we are like right there. We've also been asking our families to do us a favor and talk to their kiddos when they get home and ask them about what they're learning, what they're doing in program. And the amount of feedback that we've been getting is overwhelming, not just at pickup, but we, along with the rest of my staff, have been getting text messages saying, like from families telling us how happy they are about what their kiddos are learning, about how excited they are to be learning things, about how excited they are to be doing homework, which that one is like the one we're most excited about, because we've been just yesterday from one of our kiddos, her mom came to pick her up, and I had a chance to be there, and she was like, I don't know what you guys are doing. She had such a hard time doing homework with me, doing homework with anyone, and she not only, she wanted to be in program, but she wanted to get picked up prior to doing homework. Initially, she wanted to get picked up prior to doing homework, and now she asks mom, she begs mom to stay in program, even on occasions where she's had like doctor's appointments and things like that. She's sitting there begging her to stay, letting her know that she's having fun doing homework and things like that. So I just wanted to pop in and say that I'm very excited to be part of the Robla team. And I'm very happy to have met our families, our kiddos, and I'm very excited for the rest of the year.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Martinelli. It is also great to see that they are hitting the ground running at Glenwood Elementary, where we were not, taking our program the last 2 years, especially when you are bringing a new program into a school that hasn't had it. To see the attendance, stay right around 100% is awesome to see. And I definitely want to highlight some of the principals were here earlier. The admin's work at those schools has been instrumental to our success in those, 2 schools. So first off, I do want to talk about the tailored after-school program that we had last school year. The team over there worked really hard to make us feel welcomed over the last 2 school years in getting this program running. It is based on our Freedom Schools model that we do over the summer, so it doesn't look quite like maybe a typical after-school program does, but that's for good reason. That's intentional because we want to address some of the challenges that the kids face in, just getting to school, like was spoken about a minute ago, or feeling disconnected from the community. We want to address some of those things. One of our families that actually I believe is going to start this year, but was with us last year, their parent was nominated as a super parent last year. And the first day of school, we brought coffee, donuts, things like that for the families. And we were able to give the mom the super parent award for just constantly showing up and being, someone that doesn't just pick up and drop off the kids, but that's involved in our programs, that's involved in their kids' success as well. And so that was awesome to see for her and to just give them that support. Some of the components that are involved in the Freedom Schools model of, facilitating an after-school program. Of course, you're going to have homework help like you would in any program. But integrated reading curriculum and Harambe are crucial components of the Freedom Schools Day. And so we bring them into the after-school space, reading culturally relevant texts, exploring the themes from those texts with the kids, and really bringing them to enjoy and love reading, not to just do it as a homework assignment or as something that a teacher's telling them matters for college, but that they can enjoy in the moment. And then Harambe, some of you have participated in the past. I know Trustee Hamilton Starks was there over the summer. It was great to have you there, as well as Superintendent Chen. Showing the kids that energy is something that we all share and that we all create together. And so that is something that we did every single day to start our day off right in the summer was Harambe. For any of our board members who weren't there this summer, we'd love to have you there next summer as well for Harambe. It's an awesome, energy to be around. Afternoon enrichments as well were a big part of the summer program, but also with the school year, giving kids the chance to choose, I believe Starbucks called those clubs, right? Getting a chance to choose different activities that they can, not only have fun, but also explore things that they may enjoy for their career or for, personal hobbies outside of school into the future. We had a couple of great field trip opportunities for the school and for the children last year. The one I want to highlight with that was that we had a partnership with the Sacramento History Museum in Old Sac. where our staff, over one of the weeks of break that the school district had, learned all about the different exhibits at the Sacramento History Museum, became stewards of that information, and then facilitated tours on a field trip day to the actual museum. I may have a picture on another slide of that, but that partnership was amazing to have our staff get to learn something outside of the norm of the professional development space, and then bring engagement with that content to the kids who appreciate it in a way that they don't typically get with a normal field trip that you just sign a permission slip for and then send your kid off to. And of course, supper is also a key component in any after-school day. So yeah, that is the components that we held. I actually was fortunate to get to keep this Roberts Family Development Center printing press image that they made on a newspaper at the History Museum. That is part of that partnership. When it comes to the numbers of the students that we served last school year, we had 66 scholars enrolled from grades K through 6 at Taylor Street. There were 5 team leads, the folks who run the classrooms, and I was the site coordinator. We had 1 site coordinator for the program. We do not look typically just at one grade level because our students are in cohorts based off of near peer or close grade support. And so when we talk about the levels, these are the same grade breakdowns you have over the summer with Freedom Schools. We had 22 scholars level 1 K through 2. We had 36 scholars from 3rd to 5th grade, and then we had 8 6th graders who are in middle school this year. 41 of the scholars that were in the program last year were Taylor Street students. We were also fortunate to have connection with the transportation department that typically takes kids home to the different bus stops after school. They were also able to bring scholars from those other Robla campuses to us at Taylor to have their after-school day there. So that is the breakdown by different schools and ages that we had in the after-school program. When it comes to the I Can Make a Difference model, when we talk about Freedom Schools, scholars are learning advocacy. They're learning to be involved in the community beyond just the school day. And so they want to, learn about and they kind of take on firsthand making a difference in themselves, their family, their community, their country, and their world through hope, education, and action. We pressed this very heavily over the summer, but again, bringing it into the school year was crucial for us as well. And we see a few of our different field trips from last year, as well as our Harambe, just showing that joy and having a positive mindset on, the successes that you can have in your future and overcoming, the challenges that we saw with some of the grade reports tonight that, a lot of these scholars are struggling to stay on grade level in their academics, but one of the biggest determining factors on their ability to change that is their mindset and their outlook. So we can't just focus on helping them with their homework, but also recognizing that if they're not doing well with their confidence and with their social emotional growth, they're going to have a hard time actually focusing on improving those academics. Kind of transitioning into the summer program, and I will give a chance to ask questions, or if any of you have questions about after school now, because I am going into this, I'd be happy to field those, but I also do want to go into the summer as well. Okay. We had 110 scholars enrolled this summer with our site at Robla Elementary. They were grades K through 8. So we did have a couple of our middle schoolers in that program as well. And then there were 12 servant leader interns and 2 site coordinators. We did, I don't have the number on here, but I believe it was about 90 average daily attendance. We'll be able to extrapolate further on that in the future. Breaking that down by level, it was about 40 K through 2nd, outgoing K through 2nd scholars, 50 outgoing 3rd through 5th, and then 20 6th through 8th graders in that program. Just kind of showing a few of, the things that took place with Freedom Schools. Art is a huge part of what we do. And then community advocacy, learning about, our social action topic for the summer. I believe I reported last year on our banned books, topic that we focused on last summer. This summer, it was public education as a public good, as we recognized that the right to a free and fair public education is not as guaranteed in the country as it used to be. These things are always nationwide themes. It's not just about Sacramento here. So sometimes the themes, it's like, well, in Sacramento, our kids are getting a public education, but it's unfortunately not as prevalent in other parts of the country. So we also highlight that for our children, and they get to learn about those other places as well, where it may not be quite as beneficial of a situation for the children as it is here. Our National Day of Social Action did feature Trustee DeLuz, who's not here, getting a chance to actually speak to families about how crucial public education is, and he was able to speak to how Freedom Schools does that in his family, as his granddaughter Jane was in the program this summer, and it was awesome to get to meet her and have her be very excited to be there every day. And then another aspect of that is our staff being at community events as well, besides just the stuff that is their paid time of, hey, you're here with the kids from when they get out of school until 6. They're also at community events like the Ruby Bridges Walk to School Day, so we also want to highlight that. The educational philosophy of our program is the same in both spaces, right? Obviously, it's a literacy-based program. The kids are going to read books every single day, but there's also the cultural aspect through things like Harambe, through our staff sitting with the kids when we're reading, not standing over them and lecturing at them. Being in community with grades around yours, not just only kids in your grade level, and then bringing the parents into the program and saying we want you to be a part of the educational process of your children. The target population for the summer and for the school year are the kids that I heard earlier, I believe Trustee Carla mentioned some of the kids feels like they might be getting left behind. Those are the kids we don't want that to happen, right? We don't want anyone left behind, like you said. And so the students who, may be performing lower on certain tests, certainly our children of color are going to see themselves represented in this program in a unique way through our staffing and through our curriculum that you don't typically have in these programs. And scholars who are going to have trouble with that summer learning loss, which turns into a summer learning slide that goes into multiple years. We know our skills are foundational. They build upon each other each and every day. And so when you start to have that slide, it can be really difficult for a child to turn that around and to get back on course. The food literacy aspect is a big part of the program as well. We did have a farmer's market this summer where the kids learned a lot about fresh produce and kind of the finances of that as well, where they each had a certain amount of money they could spend on different fruits and vegetables. Kids who I've never seen want to eat the vegetables on their suppers and lunches were so thrilled to take the stuff home to their parents and say, please make something out of this for dinner tonight, which was it was really cool to see as well. The I Can Make a Difference model, again, it's how you can make a difference in, starting in the micro level yourself, expanding all the way to how you can change the entire world. And we saw that with our children this summer, not only in the curriculum and the books that kind of followed that same theme, but in people like Trustee DeLuz, Superintendent Chen, Trustee Hamilton Starks, coming out and speaking to the kids, telling them how their education got them to the places they're in now, and constantly just seeing positive role models in front of them. The field trips this summer, again, we want to make things as fun as we can, so we did go to a movie theater. We saw Elio. The kids loved that movie. I actually got to watch most of it this time, which is rare. Usually we're just running all around, and it was a great movie. We went to a River Cats baseball game, where we see some of our folks with the mascot for the team. We did also go to an aquatic center. One of our chaperones for that field trip was Trustee DeLuz. So it was great to see him out there swimming with the kids as well. We went to Fun Box in Natomas, which was a recent opening. The kids had a lot of fun there as well. And then our National Day of Social Action, which I mentioned a moment ago, focusing on public education being a public good, was over 1,000 people from all of the Sacramento sites. Just Freedom Schools alone with Robert Stanley Development Center had about 900 children in our programs, but we also had sites from the Bay Area and surrounding California sites come out to that National Day of Social Action as well, which was held in Natomas Unified School District. So we really appreciated our 10th year, I believe, of partnership with Freedom Schools in the Robla School District this summer. And we do have, quite a few of the families that are not in the after-school space this school year telling us that they are interested in returning again for next summer. which has been something that we're very glad to hear. We know that there's a lot of after-school opportunities for them available at this time, and it's great that the district has invested in those things. We are looking forward to the ways that these things can come beyond just the program. We did also have a quick video. Hopefully, y'all are okay with just getting a bit of a visual to the words of what Freedom Schools did look like this summer.
Freedom Schools is really an opportunity for students to be involved in an educational process that's fun.
It's a summer program that helps students make gains in literacy by bringing culturally relevant literature, methods of teaching, strategies of engagement, and even diverse staff that help students feel seen.
My granddaughter attends Freedom School, and she's going into the first grade, and the first time she came home excited, wanting to read, was after her first day at Freedom School.
The servant leader interns are young people who look like the students, who bring so much energy and life to the program, that are closer to their age than the average educator, pouring into them and being an example.
But there's something special when you have a teacher, a leader, who looks like you, because it's a dream. It matters. And so that component of Freedom Schools has made the most difference. That's really what I hear from the parents.
The way that they approach reading is really fun.
And you listen to the chants and the music, and then you really hear what they're saying, and the kids are excited, and the adults are excited. The adults are singing about reading and music and making it cool. So suddenly there's this whole shift where schools see reading. One of the benefits of Freedom Schools that I've seen translate to our regular school year is mainly the confidence of our students and the joy of reading. So that confidence, that joy that you are a reader, no matter what level you're at, when you go back to your school program, that's going to stay inside of you.
In Freedom Schools, I see that we're making deposits into students to believe in who they are. And then they're surrounded by people who are believing in them also, which for some students, it may be the first time they felt like that in a school setting to that magnitude. And those are the skills we all need to be successful, whether it's school, career, that resilience piece, that's a life skill.
Freedom School is really about meeting the whole child, the needs of the whole child. They're going to eat well, they're going to get breakfast, they're going to get lunch, they're going to get supper. They're going to empower parents to be advocates for their children. And that's vitally important, because any study out there will tell you that an engaged parent will more likely determine that you have an engaged student. It's a priority at home, it'll be a priority in school.
The beauty of Freedom Schools in the summer program is it mixes school, reading, but there's also that fun component. So having them know that they're going to go outside of their neighborhood, they're going to go to have fun places, but they're also going to go to colleges and just broaden their view of what they can be. Not having opportunities in the summer is very real for a lot of students. And Freedom Schools helps make sure that they have a space that is safe, where they're fed, and then where they're also surrounded by rich literature and learning. So Freedom Schools led the way to helping us to be better also year long.
I'm super grateful to the Robla Family Development Center because this takes heavy lifting. So being able to partner with a community-based organization and have them do the heavy lifting with our support was super helpful. Freedom Schools is an investment. And so this investment in our students to believe in themselves, to know what it feels like to have others believe in them, and to be excited about learning is going to pay dividends. Not only to student success, not only to your district dashboard numbers and how they perform on statewide testing and how they're doing academically, but also to our world as a whole. When we have stronger students, we're going to have stronger futures for ourselves.
Thank you for helping us get that tech figured out. I know it was a challenge today. And thank you again to the board. If you do have any questions or comments, I'd be happy to field those now.
Questions? Comments?
I have one question. Can you talk about the level 3, 6 to 8 grade 20 students?
Is there anything in particular when it comes to that?
I mean, we mostly, where the students are coming from, because.
Yeah, so it was primarily sixth graders in the Robla School District, so from the 5, main Robla schools. We did have a couple from New Hope Charter, and I believe we had 2 out-of-district 7th graders that are families that have been involved with the Freedom Schools and Roberts Family Development Center community for a number of years now. Typically, when we do have families that have been involved in Freedom Schools and in Roberts Family Development Center programming, who may have moved to a different district or are not in the districts that we're currently able to serve. Robla has been kind enough to allow us to have some spots at our site here in the district, also be used for some of those scholars as well. So I would say of those, 20 is probably, if you include New Hope, about 18 that were from the Robla School District, and then like 2 that were from another district.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. Okay, other questions, comments? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Look forward to seeing you all at the dinner next week as well, hopefully.
I would like to thank both of you and your programs for everything you do for our students.
Okay. Moving on to action items. This is probably not the most exciting part for the rest of the audience, but it's very important for our district. So, this is section 5, item A. Approve the unaudited actual report for 2024-25.
So moved. Second.
The motion is second, and we've already had the presentation. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Item 5B, approve employment of Garrett Logan Martin as Chief Business Official effective September 26, 2025. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
Comments?
Yes, as in tradition in Robla, we always ask our new team leaders to come join us at the board meeting in which the board is considering their employment. And Logan Martin was able to join us tonight. I've asked him to say a few words as our new CBO.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Logan Martin, and I am excited about being the new CBO here in Robla. I know I've got some huge shoes to fill, but I'm going to do my best to fill them, and I'm definitely up for the challenge. A little about me, born and raised in Louisiana. I have been in the world of school finance since 2000, here in California since the 14-15 school year. I am the proud father of 21-year-old twins. Our son is in a transitional education program through Santa Rosa City Schools Special Ed Department, and our daughter is in her senior year at Sac State. Nicole said to talk a little bit about what drew me to Robla, and I would say it really kind of depends on who you ask. If you ask our daughter, it's to make it easier to keep tabs on her, and make surprise inspections and make sure she's keeping her apartment clean. The honest truth is, this, in terms of a sweet spot, this ticks all the boxes. Most of my experience has been in elementary school districts of about this size with about this number of sites, and I really enjoy it the most. I've worked in districts as large as 14,000 and as small as 500, and so this really hits all the marks. So my thanks to the superintendent for giving me the opportunity, and I'm looking forward to what lies ahead.
Nice to meet you. Very nice to meet you.
You're welcome.
Yes, and well, pending the vote, just want to say welcome to Robla. And
Say welcome after.
I'm very confident. I just want to make sure that we welcome you to the family. Well, actually, let me call the vote first. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Welcome to Robla. And yes, and as you can tell, we really are a family here. It's a small district, but and you'll hear us say that we treat each other like family. We do. You heard all the emotional comments about Mr. Castillo leaving. Our superintendent is on her third year. Our previous superintendent lasted, what, 14 years, I think? As superintendent. Yeah. So, you know, we really are a close-knit district. So, welcome to the team.
Yeah, another box that was ticked off my list. Thank you very much.
Okay, moving on to item C. Approve the California Community Schools Partnership Program, CCSP, evaluation contract with HTA Consulting.
So moved.
Second.
Been motion and second. Any comments?
This is part of the community school grant. We are required to do an evaluation, and HTA is the company that helped us write the grant, and so they will be doing, it's always good to have an external evaluator, excuse me. They will be completing all the components of the required evaluation per the grant, and the funding comes straight from the grant.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Item D, approve the 2025-26 bullying prevention MOU with Sacramento County Office of Education.
So moved.
Second.
The motion and second. Any comments? Okay, we'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. And that is the last of the action items. We'll move on to board member requests for future agenda items. Trustee Cardona, as a divine.
Nothing at this time.
Trustee Cardona,
Nothing at this time.
Trustee Hamilton Starks,
Nothing at this time.
and I have nothing. And with that, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you for everyone who has attended, both here and online.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.